Thunder boomed loudly in the lost hex, not the kind of thunder you'd hear regularly, but it was an obnoxious sound that added to the suspense in the atmosphere. What happened left those in shock and rather surprised. The Lost Hex was the home of the six Zeti called themselves the Deadly Six. However, that name of them remained no more after the CO.AG's detective agency went in investigating the murders of the five Zeti who were found dead in their rooms. The results were graphic. Master Zeke, the old wise Zeti, was found dead in his room, his wooden club staff broken in half, and there was a large dent on the wall, meaning his head was smashed in full force. Blood caked in the den on the wall. What was very strange about Zeke's death, however, was the same calm expression he always had even after death. Even if he feared death, he was fearless Master Zeti after all. Even in death, he never screamed or cried out in agony. Zora, the gothic emo Zeti, who was always the depressed type, found dead in his room. His death was beyond the most brutal thing the Chaotrix have ever seen. They found his corpse on the ground, blood, brain matter everywhere. There was a bunch of dents on the wall too, meaning that Zora's head was slammed numerous times until his skull cracked, leaving the gruesome mess behind in the process. Xena, the female Green Zeti, was found dead in her room. She was strangled. Her face looked transparent from the strangulation. There were some claw marks too on her neck, which shows that she was strangled real tight until the claws dug into her neck. Zone's mom was found dead in the kitchen. There was a large gaping hole in his chest, meaning his heart had been ripped out from the chest with an instant yank. The large, overweight yellow Zeti lay there in a pool of blood. Then lastly, Zaz, the purple wild Zeti. His death was almost upsetting. He was found dead in the torture chamber. Torture chambers are less common in the Lost Hex. Zaz's corpse was found restrained on both arms and legs. His eyes looked completely lifeless. His blue tongue hanged limp from the tip of his mouth. Fingerprints shown that he was tortured to death in a very sadistic way. As much as those didn't care about the Zeti, it was a huge shocker on how they got killed. The only thing now on the Chaotrix minds was that, where was Zavok? Days after the investigation, Charmy had been having nightmares of the traumatic scene. The usual energetic sugar-high bee had woken up crying for a few days now. He loved being on the job, solving cases with Vector and Espio. But this was far different case that he had a young kid couldn't take. Espio was aware of this. Slowly he walked into Charmy's room. Charmy sat on his bed, having his head down. Espio took a deep breath. Hey, Charmy, Espio spoke in his usual calm demeanor. Charmy looked up at him, eyes all bloodshot due to being sleep-deprived from the lack of sleep because of the nightmares he's been having. Hey, Espio, Charmy replied, his voice raw and quiet. Espio felt a pang of sympathy upon hearing this. Slowly he sat down next to Charmy, inhaling and exhaling slowly. I need to talk to you about something, and I need you to hear me out and understand, okay? Espio said, starting off his sentence. Charmy nodded slowly. This mystery isn't like the ones we always do. This is far different and way more darker, and Vector and I have also discussed this. Look, you're way too young to experience all of this, and because of this, we'll have to keep you out of this one, Espio explained carefully. What? But I want to come with you guys. It's just... Charmy was then cut off when Espio put a hand on his shoulder. Espio sighed. No, Charmy, it's for your own good that we drop you out on this one. I know you love solving mysteries with us, but you're a kid and you shouldn't have to see such sights. Even Vector and I don't know what we're investigating up until now. And due to the current state you're in right now, Charmy, lack of sleep, having nightmares, we can't have you in this dangerous situation. Please, Charmy, just hear me out on this. Me and Vector as adults are doing this to protect you. Charmy wanted to argue and protest, but he didn't. He lowered his head. Espio was right. Charmy sniffled as tears welled up in his eyes. Espio slowly pulled Charmy into an embrace. Not only do I consider you a partner, but a younger brother to me, Charmy, and as a big brother I want to keep you safe. Will you two be okay? Charmy spoke quietly as he choked on a quiet sob. I promise. Vector and I will be okay while we're gone. Vanilla will keep you company so you can spend time with her and Cream to help take your mind off of all this, okay? Okay, Charmy replied, wiping away his tears. Thank you, Espio. Espio smiled warmly, and then he made his way out of Charmy's room, opening and then closing the door behind him. He took a deep breath, relieved that despite his being tough, he was glad that at least Charmy didn't argue back with him. Did you talk with him? Vector asked, sitting on his office desk. Yeah, and he didn't argue with me, thankfully, Espio replied. Well, that's a relief. Usually he gives us a hard time on so many things. I'm telling you, though, after what we've seen, he hasn't been acting his usual self. It will take a little while for him, Espio replied. Just give him some time and don't remind him about it all. Yeah, got it, Espio. I promise you won't mention a peep about it and around him once we get to the bottom of this, Vector replied. A knock on the door suddenly. It was Vanilla. Hey guys, sorry I'm late. Traffic, she said. Hey, no worries, as long as you're here. Please babysit Charmy for us while we gotta get going on you-know-what, Vector said. Right, I've heard, Vanilla said. My daughter Cream will also spend some time with Charmy. Don't you worry. You boys can always count on me on that. I'll watch them over both until you two get back. We always trust you on that, Vanilla, Espio replied calmly with a smile. Oh, and if Charmy decides to nap, well, he wakes up crying. Please be sure to comfort him. Of course, Vanilla said. With all that out of the way, Vector and Espio have headed out the door, hoping to find out the one behind the murders of the 5 Zeti. Sonic was relaxing near a palm tree, having some alone time to himself. He inhaled and exhaled the fresh air. After spending some time with Tails and Knuckles, he always went ahead and have a bit of a power nap, or so he usually would. Hey, Sonic, Vector called out. Sonic's ear twitched as he opened one eye to see Vector. Upon hearing his favorite Chaotix detective friends, he smirked. Oh, hey there, Vector and Espio, what's up? My apologies if we're disturbing you at all, Espio calmly said. Nah, not at all. If anything, I think I know why you two are here. I have heard, and man, oh man, as much as I have my fair shares with the Zeti, I am shocked that 5 of them had beef, got murdered, Sonic spoke. And you may be asking why Charmy isn't here with us? Espio replied. Oh yeah, seeing that he's too young to be on this case you guys are solving. Yeah, I totally understand that. That poor kid. I do hope he feels better, Sonic said. I appreciate that. Now, the only thing on our minds is that after the 5 Zeti got killed, we have noticed that their leader is missing. Any idea where Zavok's been? Espio spoke. Beats me, Sonic replied. I honestly haven't seen him since the last time we butted heads. Sonic let out a chuckle. Vector and I think he could have been the one who killed them, Espio spoke. We, however, aren't sure as to why we're asking around to see if anyone has proof that he's the one responsible, Espio explained. Wait, really? Sonic replied. Espio nodded. We'll keep asking around to see if any witnesses saw Zavok. Thanks for your time. Hey, no problem, Sonic replied. See you guys around. Vector and Espio asked around if anyone knew about Zavok's whereabouts. Many knew about the murders of the 5 Zeti, but none of knew when or where Zavok was last seen. Tails and Knuckles shook their heads, unsure of where he's last seen. The two, even as Big, who was fishing as usual, the calm and gentle large cat just shook his head. They then asked Silver and Blaze if they saw him anywhere. Luckily, Silver was able to explain what he witnessed. Yeah, actually, I found him just wandering around in some weird cave, Silver spoke. I was floating around minding my own business when I looked down and I saw Zavok. I thought he was up to no good, but when I looked further, something was off. He is cruel and all, yeah, but there is something about different in those eyes of his. I really had to keep a low profile, so he didn't see me, but I think he was trying to dispose evidence against something he ended up doing. He looked really blood-covered. I thought he killed the Flickly or something, but now that I know who may have been responsible for killing the 5 Zeti, it's most likely could be him. Vector and Espio got their answer. Do you know if there's proof of this? SBO asked. Yeah, I managed to use my psychic powers to figure it out and capture all in my mind. When I ran into the shadow, though, he asked me if he could use it on the computer Rouge and I own him. So just so you guys know, you two aren't the only ones looking for the into this investigation. Silver spoke. So we gotta go to Shadow for now for the video proof, SBO said. Vector and SBO made their way to Shadow, Rouge, and Omega, who luckily had the entire evidence recovered. As they arrived, Shadow stood there, arms crossed. I know why you two are here. I'm way ahead of you. He spoke with his usual blunt, stoic tone. Follow me. So they both followed Shadow. So you have it all covered, right? According to what Silver told us, he wanted us to come to you, SBO asked. Yes, Shadow replied. We both had to do it in the way where Zavok can't target any of us or anyone else, so be glad we have our ways. Shadow began to boot up the entire video proof. I must warn you, both the following is gruesome. I could take it, SBO said calmly. The footage played. It started with both Vector and SBO suspected it. Zavok was standing in front of Master Zeke and then slamming him hard against the wall with full force, then showing Zavok repeating slam Zor's head against the wall till his skull broke with a sickening crack. Vector felt his own stomach churned as he cringed the sound. Then the footage showed Zavok strangling Xena to death very tightly, squeezing the life out of her until her face drained color. Then showing Zalmam getting his heart ripped out with full force by Zavok. Zalmam collapsing onto the floor, laying in his pool of blood that leaked from his chest that had a gaping hole where his heart was ripped out. Then the footage showed Zaz being tortured to death by Zavok in the most sadistic way. It was almost hard to watch as Zavok was mockingly taunting Zaz and tormenting him with such a cruel way. Worst of all, Zaz was in a torture chamber, and this restrained both his arms and legs, and was too defenseless against all of it. Eventually got worse until Zaz's heart stopped and the footage ended. Both SBO and Vector were sickened by what they saw. I think I'm gonna be sick, Vector said. I warned you both, Shadow said, and if you guys plan to look for him, you'll find a cave near the forest. That's where he hides out. I suggest being careful as you never know what he plans to do to you guys next. We'll do our best, SBO replied as he and Vector headed out, as they know the truth and they have to put a stop to Zavok. Vector and SBO had made their way into the forest, and after 45 minutes, they had found the cave where they had been looking for. The cave was very dark. Luckily, they both had flashlights. Vector and SBO both turned their flashlights on as they walked in the cave. A strong stench suddenly hit them. Vector held his breath, trying not to gag. The stench was the smell of blood, and the stench they hadn't been fully used to. Yeah, I smelled it too, SBO muttered as they kept pressing forward, both trying their best to ignore it. Suddenly, a low rumbling chuckle echoed the cave. Both Vector and SBO stopped, shining their flashlights in each direction on where the laughter was coming from. Well, look who decided to show up. A low, gruff voice spoke. You two CO.AG detectives made a huge mistake coming here. SBO knew the voice and immediately got into defensive stance. Zavok, he quietly whispered. You boys shouldn't have come here. Zavok spoke in an almost chilling, sing-song tone. You come out and show yourself, Vector spoke. Then very slowly, Zavok slowly stepped out of the shadows, and as he did, Vector and SBO were taken aback by his rather menacing appearance. Zavok was cruel and ruthless leader, but this was far from it. As he stepped closer, he was showing signs of malice in his expression. His eyes' pupils were really, really small, and his long tail flicked repeatedly as if it had a mind of its own. And he had a slightly wide, menacing grin on his face, despite his mouth being blended and sometimes hard to see underneath his lower red jaw. I can easily guess why you two are here. Zavok spoke with a manic, unhinged chuckle. You can easily figure it out. Yes, I killed them. I killed my Zeti. Vector and SBO stood their ground. Vector's arm was lowered slightly, shaking his head in his hand trembles onto the flashlight. Sweat dropped from his head. Why? Why did you do it? SBO asked. Oh, it's quite simple. They were useless, Zavok replied. So they got what they deserve for being so useless. Why? Why is that you care so much about them all of a sudden, after the chaos they caused on all of you? They may have caused mischief, but you killing them is no better either, especially if they're your kind, SBO replied. Of course, you always show sympathy no matter who it is. So pathetic, Zavok repeated as he began to grab his own head and chuckled insanely. Victor and SBO could see it in Zavok. He was insanity. Victor gulped. SBO, what do we do now? We have to find a way to take him down somehow, SBO replied, and as he spoke this, SBO charged as he lunged a kick attack on Zavok, knocking the red, muscular Zeti back as his head connected to the blow. Zavok fought, only laughed slightly louder. Is that all you got, chameleon? It will take a lot more to bring me down, Zavok spoke. Vector went for a punch in the attack, but Zavok swatted it at Vector, knocking him against the cave wall. Vector hit the wall with a loud thud as he grunted. SBO then went for a huge lunge attack kick on Zavok again. But as Zavok grabbed SBO and threw SBO against the wall where he also swatted Victor. Zavok clicked his tongue as he shook his head in mock disapproval. Such a shame. Not even the two Chaotrix detectives stand a chance against me. He then slowly approached Vector and SBO, who were dazed. Looks like it'll be the end of both of you now. Or should I say, one of you? Zavok's eyes then twitched. What do you mean? SBO spoke as he struggles to regain consciousness. Perhaps take a look for yourself, Zavok replied. SBO, Vector spoke in a weak tone. SBO turned to see Vector. His eyes widened as Vector was impaled by a spike that pierced his abdomen. Vector coughed as blood trickled down his mouth. No, Vector! SBO rushed over to Vector's side. Stay with me, buddy. Zavok chuckled again. I wonder how he'll survive that, if he ever does. SBO closed his eyes, trying to keep his anger in check. SBO, Vector coughed out weakly as he spoke. I'll be fine. Don't worry about me. We have to stop him. It's up to you now. I'm not leaving you here, Vector, SBO spoke. No partner leaves another behind. SBO, listen. Your main mission right now is to bring Zavok to justice. I'll be fine. Now go get him. The Vector spoke weakly. And if I don't make it, tell Charmy I tried my best. I will, SBO replied as he got up. Let's finish this. SBO charged at Zavok again, taking out his ninja blades and threw at them. Zavok, however, deflected them with his spiked collar, bracelets on his arms, and grabbed SBO's neck, squeezing it tight. SBO gasped and struggled. You can now die along with your partner. Zavok spoke as he leaned close to inches to SBO's face. SBO struggled and gasped for air as he thrashed and kicked, trying to get free. Zavok only held his grip tighter as he whispered, Then after I'm done with you, I'll go after the rest of your friends. Suddenly, a spike impaled Zavok's chest, causing him to release his grip from SBO. Shadow stabbed Zavok with a large stone spike, the same one Vector got impaled as he whispered inches to Zavok. Sorry, but your days are over, and have fun in hell, you bastard. Shadow spoke as he took a spike out of Zavok's chest. Zavok collapsed onto the ground with his body went limp. SBO coughed as he took deep breaths. Shadow, my dear friend, thank you. SBO spoke as he exhaled breaths. Don't mention it, Shadow replied with his usual stoic tone. Now let's get Vector to the hospital fast. One day after the murder case had been solved, everyone was proud of the Chaotrix detectives for finally putting a stop to this, especially Shadow, who was the backup hero when SBO and Vector were at risk. Doctor said that Vector was most likely to make a full recovery after getting surgery on the abdomen. If it wasn't for Shadow, Vector and SBO would have been doomed. Many have sent their goodwill cards to Vector as he was in the hospital resting and recovering. Months later, Vector made a full recovery and was back to the job as he and SBO and Charmy would now resume solving their usual regular mysteries that have less murder, as the Team Chaotrix detectives have always been. And that, my pretties, was The Zeti Murderer, a Sonic Grimdark, written by King Herman the Wise. So my final thoughts on this story? I actually thought this was a pretty good Sonic Grimdark story. I personally really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. It was a really amazing story. So, I definitely do need to say is that I really enjoyed this. I thought this was pretty neat. And the fact that Zavok is going ahead and, killing his own kind, I mean, it's messed up. I mean, I don't know what caused him to snap like that. Well, I mean, it kind of explains in the story because basically what happened was they were useless to him, but I don't know what caused him to snap that way, but it's still a pretty good story. I love how everything was built up to, figuring out that why, who was the one who killed the Zeti. It's actually a pretty good story. I personally really enjoyed it. The grammar was really good, same with the sentence structuring and the storyline. Everything about this story was just flat out amazing. And I definitely gotta say, King Herman, you did a pretty good job. So I definitely have to say this is a really enjoyable story. I personally really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. And yeah. Now, I will sit here and say is that, I have seen a couple good Sonic Grimdark stories that I might consider looking into if I ever get the time. So there's definitely that. But it's still a really good movie. So with that being the case and with that being said, like I'm always going to say, this is just simply my own personal opinion. And if you happen to disagree with it, that's perfectly fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions regards to these stories. This is simply my own personal thoughts. I give this story a 10 out of 10. It's a really good one. I personally really enjoyed it. I thought it was really awesome. So, with that being said, and that being the case, what did you guys personally think of this story? Did you all enjoy it? Did you all not? Also, what you have done personally to help make this story a lot better? Feel free to let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section down below. I'm Shadow the Lion Queen. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and if you're new to my channel, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you're new. Ring the bell for notifications when I upload, so that way you guys will not miss an upload. As always, if you guys want to go follow me on Instagram, follow me on Blue Sky, follow me on Twitter, follow me on DeviantArt, and follow me on my backup channel known as Mr. Shigo, as links to those will be in the About page section so you guys won't miss an upload. And as always, I will see you all in the next video. Peace out, and like always, roll the outro because I'm out.
What's up, my pretties? It's the Lion Queen here. I want to appreciate you all for tuning into this video, and I do appreciate you guys supporting my video by giving this video likes and stuff. If you really enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you're new, ring the bell for notifications to when I upload so that way you guys will get updated for whenever I upload. If you want to follow me on Twitter or DeviantArt, feel free to leave a follow on those if you are interested in following me on those socials. If you want to support my backup channel, known as Ms. Dark Shigo, feel free to subscribe to it, as a link to that will also be in the About page section. And with that being said, and that being the case, thank you so much for watching, my pretties, and as always, please stay pretty.